What's up, guys? We're here in AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
This is James, shoot!
.com, and we have, I believe, the first film since The Shallows with Blake Lively in...
And All I See Is You. I'm going to assume you're right on that because you are quite a fan of Blake Lively. Also, she's joined by
Gossip Girl.
Jason Clarke here from
Terminator Genesis.
Terminator Genesis, and the last, not the most recent, but the one before that, Planet of the Apes.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
Before War. Dawn of the Planet
The Rise. All right, okay. There.
Yeah. Anyway, another movie where I think I told some people that I had seen this, and they were like, what's that? And, you know, a smaller movie, a limited release, but All I See Is You follows Blake Lively, who...
Blind?
Is partially blind.
Partially.
She could, well, she could kind of see shadows and lights. I don't know if you technically call that blind. I'm sure there's a specific term.
Yeah.
But she's blind. She's in this relationship with Jason Clarke. She lives life kind of normally. And she's given this opportunity to get a surgery to fix her eye. And in doing so, issues start arising in her relationship. Just to kind of give you a sense, one of the first things she says to her husband is, "You're not at all what I expected. Like, you don't look like how I expected you to look." And that just kind of starts this very weird movie. At times, this movie kind of feels like...
a porno.
I don't want to say this. No. I don't want to say this because it kind of sounds demeaning towards students, but it's like this kind of if someone was like, I'm going to make an art film, like an amateur, I should say, not a student, because I've seen some amazing student stuff, going like, I'm going to make an art movie. Let's do a close up on this person smoking a cigarette. They have like these really like go-to, like, oh, is this supposed to be artsy? You know, like anytime in the very beginning of the movie, we open up with this huge like collage of naked bodies making love, and it's kind of representing how she sees, because she can't see during sex, but this is the things that she imagines, and but it feels kind of tacky. It doesn't really fit in this world. But this movie, let me tell you, is one of the trippiest movies I've seen in a long time. Not as in like creepy or like freaking me out, but it's all over the place. There's this one aspect of this movie that feels like kind of like a psychological thriller, a slow burn where you're getting somewhere and you're like, where is this going? Then there's this movie where
is this going?
Yeah, then there's this really interesting love story here that I think I think the movie should have stayed with these two people just kind of dealing with this new factor in their relationship. One that is quite important, and I think when you have that...
And pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, exactly. That opening
interesting.
line of like, you're not who I expected, is like just this really great premise, but they go off and they try to go into this really weird place, and then of course it becomes that psychological thriller that doesn't feel all that great. So the movie like has 3 or 4 tone shifts, and you don't know if we're trying to feel this relationship or... For instance, there are these moments where like these two are so close, and you're not sure if you're supposed to take it as this beautiful moment where these two are trying to connect, or it's creepy and they're really faking. It's this really weird thing where the director didn't do a very good job of communicating like theme or exactly mood. It's just all over the place. I don't think it was awful, but I mean it was not very good.
I like this movie?
I think so. I think you'll like it. I mean, I think you'll be like, it was kind of slow, I'll probably never watch it again. Maybe 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Like, that's, I think, your response will be. But maybe you'll like it more, because I know you are a fan of Blake Lively. I think she's good in this movie, and I think so is Jason Clarke, but there's just not much for them to do always, and then because the characters shift so much. Like, Jason Clarke, at times, seems like this really great guy, and then sometimes you're like, wait, was that kind of like this... Is this kind of like a... just making us suspect, like, are we supposed to suspect his character now? And you know, and of course that kind of delves into a much bigger thing, but the movie's just all over the place. It doesn't really kind of have you settle, and maybe that's kind of the point, but at the same time, it doesn't really say anything. Like, at the end, I was just kind of like, at the end of the day, I mean, I could watch Jigsaw and know the theme of Saw is to appreciate life. Yep. You know, it's very wacky and silly, but at least there is a theme here. This movie, I was just kind of like, what is this movie trying to tell me? What am I supposed to take away? And I don't think it's very clear. And if your message isn't there... How
long ago did you watch this movie?
Monday.
And then in 4 days, what is the answer?
4 days. My answer is not very good. For a specific rating, I'd probably give...
No. You said that you weren't sure exactly what the meaning.
Oh
of
no,
it
I
was.
don't know.
So what's the
I
answer?
don't know any. I don't know any more than I did on Monday. To be honest, I know less because since those days, I've kind of just not thought about it. I definitely thought more about Goodbye, Christopher Robin, a movie that we also reviewed, and I watched a lot of Saw. I watched all 7 Saw movies to prep for Jigsaw,
And we
which
just finished Jigsaw.
we also reviewed. So I was watching a lot of that. So I wasn't thinking much about all
You're
I
thinking
see.
about killing, not Blake Lively naked.
Well, yeah, I guess kind of. Well, no, I don't. Maybe. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll just let that kind of be. But yeah, if you are a Blake Lively fan and this, if you do think this movie sounds interesting, go ahead, take a whirl. I'm just giving you kind of a heads up. I don't think it was the worst thing you'll see.
You're nothing more than a messenger.
That's exactly true. I'm a messenger. But sometimes a very smart messenger who could give you really good advice. Sometimes I'm like kind of like the tape recording of Jigsaw, you know? Like sometimes you just gotta listen to what I gotta say. You know, listen to my rules.
The answers are there.
Yeah.
Just follow
You know,
them.
because like if you were like, I'm not gonna listen about Dirty Grandpa, you know, then obviously you made that fatal mistake.
You want torture.
Yeah. So
you want your jaw to be knocked off.
again, go see our reviews for those other 2 movies. Next week,
We're going to Marvel Cinematic Universe in movie like 23.
yeah.
$8 billion later, we're about to close out Phase 3.
Yes, in Thor Ragnarok, a movie that I am super excited for. It's going to start off November, which I think has like each week has something really great coming out. So I mean, if now is the time, if you're one of those people who watch us and you don't come to the movies, now is the time to come because it's going to get really good in the next couple weeks. So
Justice League, Murder on the Orient Express, vroom.
Yep, and then we hop
Bunch
into
of Oscar movies.
You know, Star Wars: The Disaster Artist,
That looks
Coco.
awesome. That looks
It's going
great.
to be
Thanksgiving.
it's going to be some good stuff, and I think it's long overdue because this year has definitely been more of an underwhelming year. I would think it hasn't been the strongest year. I look at my top 5 recently, and I
Didn't get you
top
jacked.
10. Well, everything was pre summer for my top 5. So like that's been a long time since I've seen something that good that I want to put in my top 5 list.
Disaster Artist looks freaking hilarious.
I am so pumped for that movie. That is like the movie that I'm waiting on.
I really hope James Pruitt. The irony, he wins
The
an Oscar
irony.
for-
Yeah. It'd be quite interesting. So make sure you're here for all of that. I don't know if I said to go to your channel to learn something, but of course, Mr. James Shue, while he does movie reviews for Chasing Cinema, he's also changing the world out there. Go find out some what the kind of cool things he'll teach you on his channel. You can find us all on social media, and like I said, join us in the next couple weeks as we are getting down to the end of the year.
I love
AMC
it.
Town Square, 10 o'clock.
ChasingCinema.com is known as
The Film Lovers website.